Ladies and gentlemen, you have heard me speaking today on behalf of my client, Dr. Howard Shank, and the horrific crime for which he is accused, that being beating 13-year-old Courtney Grace to death for refusing his sexual advances. And now you will go into that room and debate the merits of what I and the opposing counsel have said. And I know for a fact that you will vote to acquit Dr. Shank. I know this because I have never lost a case. Well, I have some news for you. He did it.
What was that, Miss Daniels?
He did it, Your Honor. He all but admitted it to me before this whole farce started.
What in the hell are you doing?
You, sir, are a bastard, and I am a bastard for defending you.
There's a hot place in hell waiting for you, counselor!
Save me a chair.
Miss Daniels, I find you in contempt of this court for waiting until the end of a case to get an attack of conscience. I declare this a mistrial, and I will see you, madam, before the bar.
The conscience is a fickle thing, isn't it, Charlie? Never really goes away, does it? It only lies in hiding, dormant to the mind, when all of a sudden there's all this guilt that you never knew was there.
Get lost.
I am. That's why I need to talk to you. Time is short, and you are my best hope.
The American bar takes a rather dim view of what I did here today, so I'm sorry to tell you, you're still lost.
I attempted a hostile takeover of my previous employer, and so I was kicked out of the organization. I've spent the intervening time since trying to subvert the organization's ends.
And you want me to erase your guilt?
No. Quite the opposite, actually. I want absolution.
Then you need a priest, not an attorney.
It's not that simple.
Forgive the incredulity, but my problems are far more pressing to me, so if you'll excuse me.
I am Lucifer. I was a cherubim, the grandest of God's angels. I led the chorus in worship of him who is called I Am, and I want you to intercede for my forgiveness and re-entrance into heaven.
I have a disbarment hearing to prepare for, so if you will excuse me, Mephistopheles, I have people to see.
Arthur Millsap, perhaps?
What?
3rd grade. He worshipped you. You taught him how to love an abusive person. He would do anything to gain your approval, even after you threw him away. He did manage to replace you with an abusive relationship. Seems like such an insignificant event in the grand scheme of your life. Still, from little acorns do mighty oaks grow.
Meaning?
That was the first bit of soil with which you buried your conscience. That is, until Miss Grace sent it screaming back to the surface.
All right. For the sake of argument, let's say you are who you say you are. Why do you need me?
The fervent prayers of the righteous man availeth much.
I acquit murderers, thieves, and rapists.
Not anymore.
That doesn't matter.
Oh, but it does, Charlie. It does.
Why now? What's the rush all of a sudden?
Judgment Day.
When's that?
In about 21 minutes.
20... You must think I'm good if you think I can whip up a case to redeem the father of evil in 21 minutes.
I think the father of evil is a bit harsh.
I imagine you would.
Make no mistake, my dear. I only provide the ideas. Humanity does the work.
So all of the evils in history would have happened without you.
Oh, evil would still exist, just without as much imagination or panache.
Forget it. I think you need to go ahead and burn.
So you've gone from lawyer to judge, and now you think you can do a better job than God. I thought that once myself. See where it got me?
How can I know for sure?
You know who I am. You have been taught to fear me since your first day on earth. Listen to your heart, Charlie. It never lied to you.
All right. Why should I do this for you?
I can offer you nothing except the glory of the task and a chance to clear your own conscience.
How do I prepare? I don't even have a case brief, and I haven't picked up a Bible in years.
Speak from your heart. The words are there. Have faith.
Is there not an ounce of shame in you or a single shred of honor that you would attack the very one who gave you life? And now you come crawling back with a pathetic, "I'm sorry," and expect mercy? You dug your grave, so lie in it.
Michael, after all these years, and you still hold me in such contempt.
He created everything. You think you could? How many of our brothers died because you thought you could do better?
How am I supposed to argue this case to a judge who's already made up his mind?
I'm not the judge here. I'm your opposing counsel. I represent him. The judgment will come from the throne. Present your case.
Well, he's sorry.
He's sorry. And what does that change?
Everything. If he means it.
And I'm just supposed to take the Lord of Lies at his word?
It's irrelevant what you take. Only he can see into his heart and determine his guilt.
Well, he is not impressed yet.
Ephesians chapter 1, verse 7. In him we have redemption through his blood.
That applies to humanity, not to angels.
I want to see documentation.
There isn't any.
Isn't that convenient?
I am in his presence every day.
I don't see where that allows you presumption of his will.
I presume nothing in the sight of God.
Then why are we here to plead a case if forgiveness doesn't apply to him as well?
You are in his image. You do things from the unique standpoint of divine perception. The mere fact that you saw something in him that might be redeemable is of interest to the Father.
So where do you get off thinking you're in a better position to determine his intentions than I am?
I have known him for longer than time itself. I know his heart. I know his mind. He is an abomination.
He wasn't always this way. There was a time when he was worthy of divine love.
Once, perhaps.
And so he changed into something evil.
I suppose.
So then it isn't unreasonable to think he might change back.
I think it is.
Did God love him?
Yes.
Everything changes, but God changes not.
Now who's being presumptuous?
It's not presumption. There is no distinction in the Bible over whom forgiveness can be given.
It's understood.
That's thin.
He has never taken the blood. There is no covenant with him, and ipso facto, he cannot hide under the grace of the Son.
How about a gesture of good faith?
There is nothing in all creation that he could do to assuage what he has done.
In your opinion.
So?
So what does he think?
He's interested. Let's have it.
My client asked that he be allowed back into the kingdom in its lowest place, to humble himself for all the rest of his days in eternity.
And?
For which he will return every soul he has ever led astray throughout perpetuity.